Hello everyone, I am Grimith, bringing you a Let's Get On With It short. This is Caves of Qud, a several-year-old game still in development, designed by Freehold Games. I have a lengthy history with Caves of Qud, one that has not been featured on this channel. I returned to it recently. Caves of Qud is available on digital distribution platforms, Steam, through early access. I picked it up again last month, and I fiddled around with it, then went to play other games. But I wanted to record a short here because I know a number of people who have difficulty getting into the game. They look at Caves of Qud and they're like, oh, what the hell do I do? How do I play this game? I really enjoy the combat system in Caves of Qud. The tutorial and intro quests, however, are rather brutal and vicious. A mean trick for newer players, it feels like. So I'm going to show you a character type that'll work with surviving the challenges. I don't think this will be a regular feature on the channel. I'm not going to be leaving on a trip at the start of December, and I have some hours to kill. I'm trying to adjust my sleep schedule before I board a plane. So I figured I'd just settle down and do this. I have some ongoing games that I haven't played for a bit, but we're not going to be using either of those. Instead, we will jump straight into a new game. If you would please be so generous. Oh. Suppose I could show you folks my option screen. Most of these are the defaults. And if you're unfamiliar with what Caves of Qud is, it's a science, fantasy, roguelike epic steeped in retrofuturism, deep simulation, and swaths of sentient plants. Come inhabit an exotic world and chisel through layers of thousand-year-old civilizations. Well, doesn't that sound fancy? Yes. I have some overlay user interface stuff. There's a tile system, so we're not going to be staring at ASCII characters, as I did back in the day, although you can certainly turn on just the pure ASCII if you so desire. I do not. There's even some mouse interface things, so you folks can follow along at home. Neat. There's also some minor sound and music in the game. I think I have it enabled. I pretty much just listen to my own stuff, like politics podcasts or whatever. We'll create a new character from scratch, mutated human or true kin. Mutations do exist in this game, and I think they are rather interesting and intricate, and really add a lot of spice and flavor to your character and to the enemies you face in this game. I'm no learned scholar in Caves of Qud these days, but I got some fair knowledge, I think. We'll see what happens. Going to be a mutated human, and then a point-buy system for what you would like your various characteristics to be. Strength, agility, toughness, intelligence, willpower, and ego. You can distribute these randomly. You have a reset option. You could always just blow past this without investing your points as well if you so desired. I do desire. We're going to even out all of the physical attributes, and we're also going to even out intelligence and willpower as well. And bump all of them up to a +1, leaving 14 points for, well, leaving a score of 14 for ego at a -1. Ego determines mental mutations, haggling, and mentally influencing other individuals. For Tutorial Man here, and that's what this individual will be called, Tutorial Man, I won't be delving into mental mutations. We'll just use a few physical ones. Actually, a couple physical ones. Willpower, though, isn't bad. It influences hit point regeneration rate as well as mental attack resistance. I don't think we'll encounter those in the short, but it's useful to have. Intelligence determines skill points as well as examining artifacts. There is exploration to be had in this game with picking up weird, baubles and trinkets and studying them and figuring out, what is it? We have toughness, number of hit points, hit point regen, resisting poisons and diseases. Those exist in the game. That's rather rude. Agility, accuracy, ability to dodge, and the strength score, which I think is exactly what it says on the tin. Now, because we're mutated human, we go into mutations. We have 12 points to invest in a variety of physical and mental mutations, and we can get a few more points by investing in physical and mental defects. You've got things from, like, you can have an evil twin. You've got things to, like, you can teleport on the map. You've got things like, how about I build a force bubble to generate a force field? So fuck you. Hey, have you ever wanted to spontaneously combust? Or maybe you want a character who has a beak. You can have a beak. It is up to you. Isn't that fancy? If you want to, like, exude corrosive gas from your body, sweet. Do you just want to limit yourself to physical or mental mutations? Well, then you can be either a chimera or an esper. Or you can play random with unstable genome, which will generate, like, an assortment of, like, random mutations for you as you level up. I usually play with all of my points invested in unstable genome. I find that to be pretty damn entertaining, despite my lack of penchant for randomness. And besides, there's some control in randomness too. You get to choose from 3 random mutations through unstable genome. But for the purposes of the tutorial, man, I'm just going to show off what I find to be 2 effective powers. And that's going to be Freezing Hands, which emits jets of frost from your hands. This forbids you from wearing gloves. Do note that Flaming Hands does deal more damage, but I like the control power of Freezing Hands, which I'll demonstrate hopefully in this tutorial. And Flaming Hands can just get your own dumbass killed. The other thing we'll be investing in is Regeneration, allowing our wounds to heal very quickly. This could be something that we could easily bypass, ignore, no big deal. But I like it, and it does make the game flow quicker. It also does help to have those extra hit points sitting around. Now, I do have 2 points left, which unfortunately is not enough for me to fill out an unstable genome. But maybe there's a negative somewhere I might want to pick, or maybe I'll want to invest these points in some other things. Mental mirrors, I don't think that'll be a problem, courtesy of, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of mental shit. And I'm not going to pick any negatives either, just to show the power of Tutorial Man. Tell you what, why don't we pick up... I'm not exactly sure. Didn't quite think of it that far ahead. I thought I would have 3 points available instead of 2 for whatever reason. We'll pick Thick Fur and Night Vision. That'll be fine. Not exactly the strongest ones. I think Night Vision is only a useful one, minorly useful one at the beginning of the game. You can pick up items that allow you to see pretty damn well, but we'll pick up Night Vision. And then finally, a subtype, which influences our starting stats, starting skills, as well as our inventory. I'm a big fan of the Nomad. They start with a recycling suit. I do like the recycling suit. I find that to be very powerful and useful at the beginning of the game. Not only for its utility of basically like a stilt suit from Dune, which turns your bodies like, liquids that you exude, sweat, excrement, urine, into drinking water. But also it has a nice armor value. +2 toughness also gives you extra hit points. The starting skills are, they are what they are. But we'll roll with this. And then finally, Tutorial Man. Could I tweet this character build? Copy the code, save it to my library? We'll save Tutorial Man to my library. Neat. Fantastic. How far along are we into this? Great. Doing God's work. Let's get this party started, how about? Woohoo! So there is story of the game. Primary detractor from Caves of Qud is its single track story. There's most of the stuff. What the hell was that sound? Oh, it's the music of the game. I heard that coming out of my headset that I had on the ground. I was like, what the fuck? Well, I don't need to hear that. I don't think that'll be too loud for you folks, but who knows, I might be wrong. Anywho, Caves of Qud. As I was saying, it has a pretty, like, straight and narrow, like, story, although almost everything in the game is procedurally generated. The storyline itself isn't. So once you've seen the story before, well, the replayability is not in the story so much as it is in, say, the combat of the game, which I think is the primary draw. Alright, so here we are in Joppa, pressing the L key, and because I have the mouse interface, I can look around at some of the characters here, like this cat. Joppa is the starting area. You can get I think 3 quests here, actually. Pressing the C key now to converse and learn about what the hell's been going on here in this village. Purpose of this tutorial is not to chat and allow you folks to read the text. Well, for me to read out the text. If you want, you can focus on that, pause the video yourself, and read it. What waits for me here? Alright, cool, we might go on a pilgrimage at some point. That sounds pretty fancy. And the Warden. Always a nice guy. Okay, so we can open these doors. And, I press the correct key. Loot these treasure chests. I press the O key to open and close that door. You'll want to close the doors so that no one can see you looting these items, otherwise the villagers get hostile and you'll die in Joppa. I know people who have died in Joppa. I'm one of them. I'm quite sure, and we can take prizes. Everyone likes prizes, right? Don't you like prizes? Now, I can use the numpad to move around just fine, but I think, you know, for demonstrative purposes, it helps for you folks to see what the hell it is that I'm doing. We don't need to close that door. We'll be rude. We live in a barn. We're nomad. Wherever I may roam, motherfuckers. Right, there's no chest in here, but there is one in here. This is Tam. He's the Dromad merchant. And, he doesn't care about you looting his chest. Unless that's been changed at the latest build. And indeed, it has not. So, what kind of items do we have here? I pressed I to open up the inventory. I can press 7 and 9 on my numpad to cycle between various things. Here's the skills page. We have a variety of skills. These really won't matter for how we're going to play the game. Here's, of course, the starting stats. Inventory. We have a weird artifact here. What do we pick up? We broke it. Damn. A little bit too advanced for us, unfortunately. We have some scrap. We have 2 copper nuggets. And as for our equipment, we start with this recycling suit, of course, which has a armor value of 3 and a dodge value of 0. Dodge value influences how likely you are to be hit. Armor value influences how much damage you take upon being hit. It's better to not get hit than it is to get hit and reduce damage. We also have this blazing torch, which I don't think we really need to worry about. We have a desert Chris and the icy vapor, showing off our mutation. We cannot remove the icy vapor. It is a part of us forever. Reputation with various factions. It's nice to enter areas and have, say, crabs on your side, and you didn't realize they'd be on your side, and then you and the crabs fight other enemies together. And our quest page. This is for tinkering, if you've got the tinkering skill line. I don't have any of that, though I do recommend investing your skill points into it. Anywho. Hello, Tam. What kind of tree creature are you? A salt strider. And we can purchase things for him, buy and sell, for he is a vendor man. I am gonna unequip this Desert Chris. I think I'll utilize the Iron Mace here instead. And since I do have night vision, I can wield the Desert Chris here too. Do I have anything else? I do. But I already have better armor than any of those things. We're not going to worry about those ranged weapons. Finally, if we cross the map here. we'll find Argive. Yes, Argive. Beautiful. Yes, Argive. Old man with sand and soot in his beard. We're just gonna stare at him, and he wants us to get him a knick-knack. But we do have a knick-knack for him. It's a broken artifact. I'm not gonna worry about identifying it. It might be an awesome, cool item. I'll never know what it was, because I just gave it to him. But he wants another knick-knack. That greedy son of a bitch. Alright. So, if I hold down Shift and press the key where my comma is, that left, I guess that's a lesser than sign, we can see the world map. We're all the way down here in Joppa. Up here is Red Rock, where we're being directed to for one of the quests. Over here are the Rust Wells, which is where Argive will direct us to again for some copper wire, once we fetch him another knick-knack. You'll note red kudzu vines there. Those are effectively rust monsters in this game. Although there are actually rust monsters in this game, rustaceans. They will take your metal, and they'll just consume it and turn it into rust. And that's very rude. You have the Grit Gate over here, Kiakukia, a jungle village. Where exactly is it? Oh, here we go. Golgotha, where many dreams die. Many folks, including myself, have died there being unprepared or even prepared. You've got Bethesda Susa, the asphalt mines, which are extremely deep, and where we were directed to go questing for another thing, a pilgrimage, the 6-day stilt. And there's some more stuff on the map, too. These salt dunes can be full of great experience and great death. We have a whopping 20 hit points, though, so let's not get too carried away. Instead of using the world map, we're just going to travel along the map here normally. We got some glow pads, we got a giant dragonfly. We're just going to head on north towards Red Rock. Full of doom and misery. Trust me, folks. If you've never played this, or even if you have, you'll know. Alright, so these are the dangerous kudzu plants. They don't move, but they will attack you if you get adjacent to them. So you want to keep your distance from the kudzu. Pressing A takes me to my ability screen, where I can show off all the abilities I have, and I can even bind these to a hotkey if I so desire. However, I like to use my abilities from this screen, normally. That said, I will bind this to F, nuts to that missile weapon, and I'll show off my freezing hands. So my Ray of Frost here, that's effectively what it is, shoots out in a single straight line, and it'll hit anything up to like 9 spaces away that intersects with the line. So I can start attacking, say, all of this kudzu. I can press 5 to wait here, and you'll notice up here in the top left corner with my interface, Freezing Hands has a cooldown, a 10-turn cooldown, which has now expired. I can do that again, and hey, at least one piece of kudzu died. I think my Ray of Frost, my Freezing Hands, is actually too weak to continue transitioning through all this shit. That's cool. We got 10 experience points for that. Wasn't that simple? We don't need that many more for a level. We could just pick on all the kudzu, but we're not going to worry about that. That's not exactly a fun or entertaining fight. We're going to continue on. Now, over here is a crocodile, average difficulty, and unlike the kudzu, it will move and attack me. It's also eating the kudzu. Now, we can keep our distance because we do have a ranged weapon, and force the croc to come chase after us. Ranged weaponry, of course, is very powerful, especially an option like this that does not require ammunition. All it has is a cooldown, and you can just kite the enemies around until you can keep launching it. Not the sexiest or most exciting of things, but these Freezing Hands will get more powerful in the future. Trash, If we had the correct skill, we could disassemble this trash looking for scrap that we could use to build artifacts. Alright, moving on to the next area here. Just a bunch of glow flies. Dragonflies, excuse me. We have an irritable tortoise here, who is hostile towards us. Our frost, unfortunately, didn't do that much damage to him. This map is kind of busy. Are these hostile to me? No, glow crows. What about these over here? Feral dogs. Nope, they're friendly. Oh, poor tortoise there. He got frozen a little bit, folks. Poor guy. Now, there is a temperature gauge as well in this game, and as you... Currently, I'm at 22 T. 22 temperature units. And that will go up or go down as you are exposed to severely hot or severely cold conditions. You can catch on fire. You can also become frozen solid. That's what freezing hands can do to enemies, and if you're really close to them for a long enough period of time when they're frozen solid, kind of do that to you too. But with Babby level 1 freezing power, we don't have to worry about that too much. Now we will endeavor to engage this tortoise in melee. I will show off our melee action. We don't exactly have glamorous melee capabilities, just with an iron mace and nothing really in the way of skills. However, I do have regenerative properties, so I do recover health quickly. Now, we are seeing some other enemies come down the way. We got some boars, we got some more tortoises. So we will have to exercise our legs, particularly because our character is not that damn tough. Here I've activated the sprint command, which, you know, allows me to sprint away from horrible, horrible danger. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10, would flee in terror again. This is the tortoise I've been picking on. Also, you folks can probably notice why I don't bother to listen to the music in this game. There are some sound effects, but, I mean, the wilderness, ooh, sensational, outstanding, excellent. Now, Caves of Qud is a turn-based game, so you can take your time with it. You can study the map, try to figure out your moves, plot your next steps, so that you don't get fucked over. You know, don't get pinned, don't get trapped. You will encounter enemies that move, say, faster or quicker than you. This here is not an ideal situation since I'm fighting so many enemies at once. And I'm dividing my power of attack in between them. It's also worth noting that enemies can regenerate hit points. However, we did end up leveling. Hooray! You get a random number of hit points, dependent on how much toughness you have. The game rolls a die, some skill points, and a mutation point, which I can invest into any of the mutations I have, or if I've saved up several points, I can roll a random mutation. Level up, bitches! Alright. Going into yonder inventory, you can see here, 82 skill points, 1 mutation point, buy a new random mutation for 4. We're going to level up Freezing Hands, increasing our damage output here to 2d4. Hooray! Skill points wise, oh yeah. Nomad does start with Harvest. I never talked about that. Harvest allows you to harvest useful plants from the earth, exactly what it says in the 10. So we can pick up food from various things like water vines or star apple trees as we progress along. The game does keep track of hunger and thirst levels. I don't think those are a problem beyond the beginning of the game, but it's something that you do need to consider. Alright. So, super cool, even more powerful Freezing Hands, a whopping 2d4 damage instead of 1d4. We ended up beating a Salt Hopper chip while running about. Isn't that exciting? Note how this tortoise ain't coming after us, because he is frozen. We've dealt so much damage to him. So much freezing damage. Oh, there's another irritable tortoise that has come out of the woodworks. However, we have a feral dog here who is friendly to us, who does seem to be attempting to help us as best he can, which is nice. Lined those guys up, and I killed the tortoise. 125 experience points. Hooray. And the boar got frozen as well. Come on and help me, dog. Alright, we've taken some damage. Damn tortoise. One thing with this other user interface I have set up is that the message log is harder for me to read. I do like it, it's just, like, overall, which is why I'm keeping it, just, that is difficult for me to keep track of. Alright, and now we're level 3. Wasn't that easy? We got another mutation point, and we gained an attribute point. We saw a little fanfare of music. Now, if we try to level up Freezing Hands again, you'll note that we can't increase the mutation's level. You can't just pile on points into one mutation. I think, like, you can have a mutation as high as, basically, like, it's like level divided by 2 or whatever. Like, I'd be able to have this at level 10 when I'm level 20. So I can save up this mutation point for, like, buying a new random one. I can put it into any other mutations I have. By the way, I see in the dark, and I have thick fur. You can't level up those mutations, but I can level up regeneration. This is not something I normally invest points in, because I think even just one level of regeneration is strong enough, but for the purposes of the tutorial man here, it's going to keep us alive. And there's no shame in keeping us alive. Also, our skill points, I have a whopping 164 of those now. See how easy those were to acquire. Why don't we go ahead and invest in the first level of butchery? I am sure we can now butcher corpses, which will allow us to occasionally butcher like certain types of corpses for food. Also, I do like tinker. Buying the initial level of this will give us Gadget Inspector, which makes us much more successful at examining artifacts, and opens the way for us to do things like disassemble and build items, which is something that I'm a big fan of as well. You know, there's plenty of combat skills and things that you can invest into, but nuts to all that shit. We really know what we're doing here. So we'll grab tinkering. Hopefully we'll end up not squandering any of... Well, hopefully we end up not breaking artifacts in the future, okay? Also, I'm going to go ahead and pour out the contents of this recycling suit, pour it into another nearby container. We'll pour it into this water skin. We'll empty out the recycling suit. Hooray! We went ahead and butchered that boar for meat. Hello, dog. That's a dog corpse. There's another boar around here somewhere we have killed. Oh, hey, tortoise. Let's get to work, shall we? Get him while he's frozen. Kick his ass. Alright, so setting individuals on fire naturally doesn't freeze them. Instead, you could end up setting the entire map on fire. If there's liquids around, you could end up creating steam and bathing enemies or yourself in steam, as well as the loot they drop. So while Flaming Hands ends up dealing more damage, it also ends up destroying loot. And you. Which is why I strongly advocate not rocking with it. But Freezing Hands, you know, it's definitely worth the 5 points. Also, I'm only sated, so I'm gonna grab this entire glow crow corpse and eat it. I know I passed by some water vines and star apple trees before on prior screens, but I'm not gonna go back to them. Instead, I'll show off harvesting. Oops. No. B. Let's harvest that witchwood tree and grab ourselves a witchwood bark. Another tortoise has come here. We will dispatch him, despite the fact that we have crummy equipment. Although that iron mace is not too bad. We really have no combat skills to write about. We're just a fucking nomad. To show you what skills we actually did start with, we're weathered, which means we take less damage from heating and cooling effects. We have Mind's Compass, which means we double the chance to regain bearings when we're lost. And, yeah. We have Wilderness Lore Salt Pans, which means whenever we go exploring in the salt pans, we have a smaller chance of getting lost, and we have a doubled chance of interesting encounters, which may or may not result in getting your ass killed. Okay, we've reached Red Rock now. That wasn't too hard. Back to using the numpad. There is an auto-explore key. I don't like to press it. I don't think auto-explorer is very efficient at doing auto-exploration, and I find that it can result in disappointment and sadness. Here's a goat. He's not aggressive towards us, but for the purposes of tutorial man, we'll use auto-explore. Good work. You did it, Chief. Our night vision has kicked in effect. This is definitely nighttime. Note that we can't see perfectly, everywhere on the map, but we can see in several tiles around us. Not useless. If that goat was nearby, I'd go hunt it down and kill it, but we're not going to bother. Instead, we're going to head here to the first level of Red Rock, where what the fuck is this start? Slime. You have a strong chance of losing your footing on slime. You'll just slip all the way around. Monsters can do this too. You lose control of your character, and you can get your ass killed. Great feature. There's a cave spider over there. It's not too interested in engaging us in melee combat. Dreadroots. They changed. Looks like they changed the graphics of Dreadroots. It does make them easier to spot. I like that. Before, they were just like little tiny squiggles. It's easier to keep those in mind now. Good change. And that's also a seed-spitting vine that will naturally lob seeds at you. That was the slipping in action. Hopefully you can see how you can easily get your ass killed. Especially if you end up next to Dreadroots too. They can spook you and send your character flying away. I held down the control key there, which forces attacks onto neighboring tiles. That's the way to eliminate Dreadroot. This level 1 is rude with all this slime, though. Jeez. Level 1, man. Welcome to the first quest. Yeah, tutorial area. Oh, it's so easy. Don't you worry, you're just gonna head to Red Rock. Not a problem at all. You're gonna have some fun exploring, and all of a sudden you're just fucking murdered, and everything you ever loved is dead forever. Thanks. Thanks, designers. Appreciate that. Alright, we leveled up again. We never invested our attribute point. I don't care enough to. You get bonuses based on your attributes at every even interval, so investing my point here is not going to ultimately change any of those values. Okay, this is a jilted lover. This grabs you and will fucking strangle murder you. It's a great feature. Thanks. Seriously, walking around randomly exploring, not as rude or as dangerous as these starting dungeons. Especially with all this fucking slime, too. Oh, hey! It's an actual slime. And a giant amoeba in the slime. Hooray. Get out of my way, nerd. So we're here to figure out... fucking young ivory. Right. Of course those would be on level 1, too. We're here to find out what's been eating the water vines in and around Joppa. That's the purpose of our task here. There is an underground route that you can take that leads you to several floors beneath Red Rock, where you could encounter what it is that's been devouring the water vines, but without knowing that route, you'd end up walking above ground here. So, I got impaled there, and that was by a young ivory. Young ivory is like a pressure plate trap. You walk around, you step on a square that has young ivory, it shoots up into your leg, it fucking impales you, it causes bleeding, which you have to staunch either through bandages or by waiting several turns, and hope like hell you don't have a defect that causes you to continue to bleed because your blood doesn't clot easily. You can find these in neighboring tiles by pressing the S key to search, but do note that young ivory isn't in most areas of the game. But welcome to the starter dungeon! Surprise! Thankfully, I have regeneration with this character. which means I recover hit points quickly. Now, we will start using the S key from this point forward. Hopefully I can demo off finding young ivory. But if we don't, that's not the end of the world. Alright, see there? Young ivory is revealed. It's got that cyan color to it because I did shoot the frost over it. Packed into rinse in the shell are the spinescent shoots of blooming ivory. Fucking bitches. Now, because I've identified it, I can step on the square just fine, or the rectangle or whatever, without actually getting impaled. So it's not a threat to me, but still I get 10 experience points from it. Fuck it, it's going down. Because it is nothing but rude. See if we can fight through the slime there. And I'm at full hit points, so I'm going to be a bit arrogant and not waste or expend time pressing the S key to search, because I like to live dangerously. That is a terrible strategy whenever you're playing these styles of games where you have one life. What the hell? The loot brackish slime. This level 1 red rock here turned out very interesting, we'll say. Now, I could head to the next floor, and I think I will, because I don't like this floor too much. There might be goodies or prizes hidden about, certainly opportunities for me to level up my character, but, not a big fan of all this slime. Could send me skidding straight into some young ivory. So we're gonna head to floor 2. This one's definitely more friendly. Look at it. We got like a bat here that's neutral. We got a cave spider. There's the stairs to the next floor already. We got some trash. There's a campfire there, along with some remains. That spider is interested in holding its ground to fight me. Fight me! And so it did. Also bat. Fight me! That's what I thought. Nerd. Okay, Snapjaw. This is like a hyena-looking thing. Or a gnoll. You know, humanoid-type creature, can wield weapons. They've got great pack mentality. They're also nice little snacks. You know, their corpses, they're all, like, lean and sinew. They don't feed that well, so you can just, like, they're like graham crackers, really. They're also not that challenging. See? Bam! We're gonna nom on him, and we're gonna take his mace. Why don't we dual-wield maces? Nuts to this, Chris. Yeah. Because I have night vision. I don't have to worry about wielding a torch. I can be all kinds of super lethal. Studded leather armor. But I'll pick up that iron short sword. I'm gonna carry around some items because they are sellable. Even though this is tutorial man here. Okay, we got some Snapjaw hunters. They will try to pick off me with bows. I believe that's another scavenger. It sure is. Bam! Get wrecked, kid. We automatically picked up the arrows, because I've set myself to pick up primitive ammo. I don't think I want these other things, though. But we did manage to find another knick-knack. Another weird artifact. It's a stun gas grenade. Hooray! We can just lob that at enemies, exude stun gas, and we can deal with them, hopefully, or we might fail. Hello. Don't want to engage with the entire pack, because, again, the pack mentality of Snapjaws. We'll fight them one at a time. Oh, shit. Oh, boy. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. None of them used a grenade. Maybe one of them had, like, a mutation on them? Or there might be, like, another Snapjaw back there. Yellow. Muff Muff Uluwoff. The fearsome Snapjaw Fire Snarler. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he shot flaming hands at me. Or, pyrokinesis. So look at him. He's, of course, more awesome than the average Snapjaw. He's a Swarm Alpha. He's loved by Snapjaws, so by killing him it'll make Snapjaws dislike me more, but succulents and winged mammals will appreciate me more. How about that? Awfully kind and generous. Let's just go ahead and shoot a bunch of frost down that line, and see what we can do about this unique champion Snapjaw. He's surviving pretty damn well. He is average difficulty for me. And he's taken me down to below half health. However, we have managed to prevail. The succulents will surely appreciate my efforts. I'm going to go ahead and put on this leather cap. Don't care about the moccasins. Eat these corpses. Wouldn't want the food to go to waste. Don't care about the shield. But I will carry another iron mace. Eat that. Hand axe, iron dagger. I might have automatically picked up some stuff. I took the copper nugget, yeah. Crocossins? I'll wear those. Minus reputation with unshelled reptiles. Big deal. Welcome to how much I don't care. Snack on these two. Alright, we're looking powerful. We got some nice equipment. Well, nice for this period of time. Let's not get too excited. We're not too terribly far from another level. Let's see here. Anything I want to do? I never ended up selling this musket. I've been carrying that around with me. That's a big clunker. That it's worth some drams of water. Water is the currency in this game. That I just ended up carrying with me. That's not smart, but this is Tutorial Man here. Tutorial Man doesn't have to be perfect. Don't carry those items around with you unless you're going to use them because of how heavy they are. Thankfully, I do have some strength on this character. Open this chest and get the goodies inside. Press tab for take all. Examine this artifact and it's a thermal grenade. Yay! How long has Tutorial Man been going along here? Okay, over 40 minutes. Well, I'll probably just end up finishing Red Rock. But I hope this showed off a little bit of how cool combat can be without even delving into the combat skills or intricate, complex enemies that you'd face that would saw off your limbs. But there are certainly enemies you can face who will have mutations, such as that champion Snapjaw there. And he made things exciting. Also, about kudzu, which we faced earlier, if you can't fight that with a ranged weapon, just punch it. Unequip all of your metal shit, throw it on the ground near you, walk up to the kudzu and, burn it down with, torches or whatever. I would, as a matter of fact. Take me down. Whoa! Stun gas! How about that? These damn clever enemies. How dare you! Get wrecked, nerd! That stupid plant over there. Being rude to the max. No worm skull. I like that. +1 ego. I'm gonna auto-equip that. I think I had, a leather cap on. Well, that's not as good as this no worm skull. Keep eating the Snapjaws so that we stay full. That's gonna be salty water. What do we have here? That's a giant centipede. Well, that ain't too much trouble for us. See, just trailblazing, trail freezing. Thank you, freezing hands. You've made all the difference. Now, again, this was just to show you, one, combination of, mutations and, attributes you could use to, help you survive the early game. You know, without demoing, surviving poison and disease. Really disease and not so much poison. But certainly, and the horrors of the fucking tutorial areas. Yeah, they're here to teach you about how to play the game. You see, normally whenever you get, starting quests like that, you think, oh, cool, I can learn the game. Not so much in Caves of Qud. Its way of teaching you is to kick you in the fucking face. And this whole shit young ivory and, kudzu, again, you don't see it in most areas of the game. Some areas do have ruder things, though. I know, ruder things. How about that? And you're on your own whenever it comes to deal with that. Or maybe you're not, but I won't be there to help you. Probably. Who knows? Maybe I'll play with Tutorial Man again at some point in the future. But again, I'm just, trying to keep myself powered here. I'm, tired. Oh, 10 grams of fresh water. Nice. As I adjust my sleeping schedule before I go on a December trip. Alright, the centipedes and snapjaws are not perfect allies. They decided to fight each other there in Mortal Kombat. I do like monster infighting. Particularly if you end up having any allies. That's pretty cool. I do like that feature. We have a blood-stained neck ring now. Neat. We could wear it and get plus 400 reputation with baboons. We'll put it on the left arm. Sure, what the hell. Ah, it's salty water. Okay. There's a variety of liquids in this game, too. Some of them can be very important to keep track of, as they can be cures for diseases. Alright, we're level 5 now. You get to see the wonderful effects there as we level up. Oh, and mobs on the map can level up, too. That's a fun feature. Totally full of confusion. We have a whopping 178 skill points, which I think, in continuing the investment of not showing off combat skills, why don't we get disassemble? Because, you know, we made the mistake earlier of carrying around some of these items that are just too damn heavy, such as this musket here. And while we could sell this for drams, we're going to pick up other goods too. So we'll just disassemble this, convert that to flawless crystal. Those parts don't weigh anything. We also have these 2 bent metal sheets that we'll go ahead and turn to something. We'll keep that revolver, though. Note that we can't disassemble everything for awesome, cool Wizard Jesus Sauce parts. Oh, we have to wait for a recharge. How about that? What do you mean I can't just vomit out my ability left and right? How dare you try to game balance? That's just fucking rude. Now, you might look at this and think, wow, this is overpowered. Don't worry, there's other enemies who have plenty of items like grenades and plenty of mutations that can stun-lock skullfuck you. Have I told you how rude this game is? This game is rude. That's come to be expected, though, of this style of genre, right? Anything that styles itself a roguelike, or really a NetHack-like, just has that an innate, inherent rudeness to it. That whole, fuck you. Now, those games have varying degrees of fairness associated with them. I don't think this one's bad, but it does have that learning curve. Alright, here we're on level 4, and we're finding gnawed water vines. The enemy that we seek, who is responsible for all this shit, is on this level. Are any of those freshwater? No. Didn't think so. Hello, Jilted Lover. Thankfully, we dealt with that quickly. Picked up a lead slug. Shotgun shell. Another shell. Brackish water. Yuck. Get rid of this dread root. Oh, there's an iron buckler there. Neat. I gotta pick it up, though. Here we go! We found the enemy who's been devouring the water vines and got 100 experience for it. It is a Gershling. We need to bring back a corpse of a Gershling to illustrate as proof for the Elder of Joppa. And we shall endeavor to do just that. This Gershling is a little tough, however, we do have frost that we can shoot out of our fingertips that freezes our enemies in place, affording us the opportunity to run, or in my case, regenerate my hit points, and stand and fight. We'll try not to accidentally eat this critter corpse. Okay, now we have this, we could just easily go back up the steps and walk down south to Joppa, but as I noted, there's an underground route here too. Isn't that wonderful? Thrilling. I do think the underground route is more dangerous, particularly if you're starting from the whopping level of 1. It also is, like, several, like, maps, so full of exploration and enemies and Broken hopes and dreams. Ah, he took that route. Sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Yes, the enemies will attempt to pathfind. To, find great ways to get behind you and fucking murder stab you. Great feature. Well, we got him at a choke point here. Go ahead and bash this Gershling with our tandem of iron maces. Got him. We'll take that other Gershling corpse, and we'll eat one. Oh, we don't want to get sick. We'll drop it instead. I am not down with the sickness. Screw you. Ah, screw me indeed. Go ahead and wait a bit to recover some of our hit points. Thankfully, we do have regeneration at a pretty high level. So even though we get stabbed and we start bleeding all over everywhere, we can quickly get those hit points back in our body. Hooray. Another Gershling joins the fray. Okay. Anywho. What else you assholes got in here? Nothing. You're dead. Oh no, I fled from the Dreadroot. Ah! The way is blocked here by a large boulder. I don't feel like removing that. There's some other goodies and prizes on the underground route, too. Which is why, you know, if you've never been down it before, not exactly horrible. You can get a miner's helmet down here. That provides you a light source from a convenient helmet rather than filling one of your hand slots. Do recommend. Of course, I don't really need it. No, but that silver nugget ain't so damn bad. Thought I bumble into some kudzu, fucking gets devoured, turned into rust. I'm like, damn it. Why? This is why we can't have nice things. Water skin with 1 dram of fresh water. Okay. Get him. Getting a little arrogant, not paying so much attention to the numbers. That's always a dangerous sign at a game like this. But I do have 3 levels of regeneration, so I can even make mistakes such as that right there. Because I'm not really searching or paying attention. Because I can stop the blood loss rather easily. An enemy got impaled by young ivory over here. Young ivory takes no prisoner, is more than happy to devour everything. Okay. Bloody beetle bum there. I've certainly been the victim of a few beetle bums. They start off as neutral to you. But boy, oh boy, they will devour things all over the map, and if you want them back, you need to fucking kill the beetle bum. They're pretty tough. They have a number of hit points. And their massive mandibles are, well, I mean, they fucking walk around the map eating all kinds of shit that's on the map. So you could expect that to be pretty tough, too. Let's see if we can go ahead and freeze this motherfucker in place, though. Of course, he didn't stay frozen for very long. And look at my hit points just dribble away from me. We're, gotta get some distance here from Mr. Man. Let him walk on some young ivory that I thankfully didn't hit myself. And let him get into trouble. So that we don't have to take the punishment. Lower his core temperature. Find ourselves getting wrecked by his massive mandibles. But that's okay, because we killed him. We're now level 6 and have gained +1 to each attribute. Hooray! Which means I could end up leveling up a thing. What would I put this point that I have into? Well, beats me. All of my attributes are odd. The ego is even because of the nullworm skull I'm wearing. So it's an ability increasing, you know, item. And that +1 ego would be removed if I took off that item. Freezing Hands is now a whopping 44 damage every 10 rounds that's freezing. And as I continue to increase that mutation level, that continues to deal more damage, and it continues to lower the core temperature of the monsters I fight even more, to the extent where I could keep monsters permanently frozen, which is a very powerful control ability, and you can use to down, like, massive monsters that would otherwise be impossible for you to defeat. Like, there's an impossible listed difficulty if a monster is super high above your level, and you can kill those by crowd control. And there's a bevy of other mutations and items in the game that you can use to accomplish those effects too. I mean, what exactly would I end up wanting with this style of character, right? Certainly I'm mixing it up a lot in melee, so one of the physical attributes would matter much. On the other hand, freezing hands is my primary killer, and the weapons that I'm just using, you know, don't really matter that much, so who knows what that attribute point would be best spent on, right? It would depend on what you're looking to do in the game, what you think would be fun for you to play, the build design you have in mind, if you even have a build design. Okay, so we cleared this out. There is a way south, however, for us to follow along, and we can get back to Joppa that way as previously described. Or we could end this here. I think Tutorial Man has served his purpose, both in keeping me entertained and awake and helping me reset my sleep schedule, or not reset it, but set it a bit differently, as well as demonstrating one way for you to survive Red Rock. One of the opening quests in a very lethal area, with, solid attributes, nothing overly emphasized, with a recycling suit and with freezing hands and regeneration. We managed to pound on enemies with iron maces and freeze them in place with freezing hands. Note that freezing hands and regeneration cost us 10 out of our starting 12 points. The game does rightfully recognize those as very powerful mutations. But, they serve their purposes just fine. There's plenty of other powerful mutations out there. And along the way, we spent our skill points on things not related to combat, such as tinkering, such as butchery. This character is not going to have a problem feeding himself, so long as we pay even a modicum of attention, so long as we harvest plants whenever we're near them, such as star apples and fine wafers, and so long as we, encounter enemies whose corpses we can butcher, such as eyeless crabs. If you go there into the asphalt mines, you'll find a shit ton of eyeless crabs, and you can just carry around their legs for days. Yep, that was Caves of Qud. Let's get on with it short, Tutorial Man. I don't know what's ahead for him in the future. Most likely nothing. If you didn't know much about the game or had trouble playing around the start, hopefully this rambling, muddled, lack of focus video showed off a few things for you. And if you knew what you were doing, maybe you learned something else. Of course, I'm sure you already have your own ideas for how you can survive Red Rock, such as perhaps not even fucking coming to Red Rock. It's a scary place. Anyway, take care, folks. I'll talk to you all later.